Chosen one, you didn't come across this message by coincidence. Divine guidance brought you here for a purpose. You've been walking through a season marked by silence, pain, and a deep sense of being misunderstood. Yet, in the midst of that, you stayed committed. Even when nothing seemed to move forward and quitting felt easier, you chose to hold on. Now, heaven has something to say directly to your spirit. God is proud of you. Not because you were flawless, but because you didn't give up. Not because you had everything figured out, but because you chose to lay it all at His feet. A shift is happening. You're not just being protected anymore, you're about to be revealed. And this unveiling isn't about seeking attention or praise. It's about becoming an inspiration, not for status, but as a living testimony. You're not here to show off, but to show the world the power of grace in motion. What comes next is a powerful unfolding, 7 meaningful insights to help you grasp the depth of this sacred moment. But before we go further, take a second to like, share, and subscribe. This isn't ordinary content. It's a divine message sent straight from heaven to your heart. You didn't stumble upon these words by chance. God brought you here because it's your moment. This is your sign. This is your divine notification that what has been hidden is about to come into the light. If something in your spirit is resonating with this, type 77 in the comments below. That number isn't random, it's a prophetic marker, a heavenly signal that declares, I am in alignment, I'm awake, and I'm ready for the glory God is preparing to pour into my life. Not everyone who presses play will stay, but if you make it to the end, something inside you will shift. Your spiritual awareness will deepen, your clarity will sharpen, and you'll finally understand why your quiet obedience is about to lead to a public transformation. Don't just hear this once, replay it, reflect on it, pray over it, because each time you listen, another layer of revelation will unfold, and the weight of your divine calling will begin to make sense. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Heaven has seen your faithfulness in secret. Long before your name was known by others, heaven had already written your story. Before anyone recognized your abilities, God was working on your character. While the world judged your value by how visible you were, God was measuring your heart when no one was watching. Heaven has been observing, not your perfection, but your posture, surrendered heart, your silent strengthened now. Everything, it is about to change. God noticed you when no one else was paying attention. He witnessed the tears you shed, even as you continued to worship. He heard the prayers you whispered through brokenness and called them precious. He saw you giving when you barely had enough to spare. He watched you carry heavy burdens with quiet strength, showing up when there was no applause. He saw you pouring into others while your own cup felt empty. While some may have assumed you were idle, God knew you were engaged in deep spiritual work. You weren't overlooked, you were being developed. You weren't invisible, you were being hidden on purpose, wrapped in divine protection. You weren't forgotten, you were being equipped in advance. In a world obsessed with performance, you chose the path of purity. While others displayed their highlights, you were in the secret place repenting and growing. While they worked the room, you stayed on your knees. While they built stages, you built an altar, and it was on that altar that your identity was solidified. Your anointing was refined, and your purpose was made clear. God doesn't elevate people simply because they're talented. He promotes those who've proven faithful. Faithful through hardship. Faithful through hardship. Faithful in seasons of silence. Faithful while being misunderstood and unseen. He watched you stay pure when offense tried to harden your heart. He saw you respond with honor when retaliation would have been easier. He saw you quietly walk away from what no longer served you. Bless those who hurt you without a word, and keep moving forward without demanding recognition. That's why what's coming next isn't random or lucky. This shift is a harvest produced by seeds sown in the dark. It's the result of obedience no one clapped for. It's the unveiling of someone who chose integrity when compromise called. God isn't elevating you because you sought the spotlight. He's raising you up because you remained real. He's about to reward you openly for the loyalty you showed Him privately. You endured trials that would have broken others. You kept your heart clean even when others treated you unjustly. You stayed faithful in a season designed to make you quit. And now, heaven is moving on your behalf, lining everything for your breakthrough. Prepare yourself to step into spaces where your name has already been spoken in the Spirit. Get ready for divine alignments, strategic appointments, and doors to open that only your obedience could unlock. Opportunities, platforms, and invitations are on the horizon, not because you lobbied for them, but because you were set apart for this moment. Chosen one, you didn't miss your season, you matured into it. What was happening in secret is now being positioned in the open. The unseen preparation is transforming into visible purpose. What God is about to release into your life won't just be a blessing, it will be confirmation. Every quiet yes you gave in the dark is about to be honored in the light. This is your moment. Heaven witnessed it all, and now comes the reward. Chapter 2. The unveiling isn't about ego, it's about glory. Don't misinterpret what's happening. This elevation, this spotlight, it's not designed to inflate your ego. It's meant to showcase divine evidence. God is not placing you on display to collect applause. He's revealing His work in your life so others can see what His power looks like through a surrendered vessel. You are becoming a living example, a moving revelation, a public demonstration of what purity and perseverance can birth. This isn't about your name being elevated, it's about His name being glorified. The platform isn't for your comfort, it's for God's confirmation. You were hidden for a reason, and now He's removing the veil not to highlight you, but to shine. Through you, you're becoming proof that obedience unlocks abundance, that holiness still holds weight, that you don't need manipulation or branding to be called, you just need to yield. Yes, you will shine, but not through shine through submission. Because you laid down your pride, God is lifting your purpose, and this elevation won't carry the residue of arrogance, it will carry the aroma of humility. Your influence won't be measured by followers, but by spiritual depth, by impact, by the weight of God's presence resting on you. The world may try to label it success, but it will look and feel unlike anything they're used to. Your light will be sacred. Your presence will carry a peace that fame cannot counterfeit. Your rise will baffle those who tried to imitate you on. It will bring peace to those who chose consecration over popularity. What's coming isn't a trophy, it's a testimony. It's not a platform to boast from, it's a pulpit to minister through. Everything God places in your hands from here on will carry intentionality. When you enter rooms, the atmosphere will shift not because of you, but because His Spirit will move through you. You'll be elevated but not to show off. You'll be positioned but not to compete. You'll be blessed in the open because you surrendered in private. This is divine validation, not personal branding. So stay grounded. Don't let praise distract you. Don't let the spotlight distort your purpose. Keep your eyes on the one who called you. Asterisk, don't let applause distract you from your purpose. Stay rooted, remain hidden in Him, even when the world starts to notice you. Because the glory that God is about to place on your life will make others pause and ask, who is their God? Some will try to explain your rise by crediting your gifts, your personality, or perfect timing, but nothing will fully add up. Your elevation won't follow human logic. It will defy trends and formulas. What rests on you will carry divine substance, something the world can't copy. You're not the star of the story. You're the surrendered vessel. The spotlight belongs to God. The honor, the increase, the influence, it's all a reflection of Him moving through you. The power you carry isn't man-made. It's heaven's, so walk with reverence. Move with humility. Keep your focus clear. You're not being promoted for show, you're being separated for purpose. This isn't about fame. This is about making God's presence undeniable through your life. And you, chosen one, are the stage He's about to shine through. Chapter 3. They counted you out, but heaven counted on you. They thought your silence meant surrender. They misjudged your humility as weakness. They assumed because you weren't loud, you weren't strong, because you weren't seen, you weren't significant. They mocked your patience, misunderstood your restraint, and labeled your stillness as stagnation. They said you were too quiet, too slow, too spiritual to make an impact. But they didn't know what God was doing behind the scenes. Heaven was paying attention. Heaven was waiting. You weren't passed over, you were being protected. You weren't rejected, you were rerouted. You weren't behind, you were being guided. While others chased positions, you chose posture. While they built platforms to be noticed, you built an altar to stay pure. You didn't run after fame, you ran after God. You didn't push yourself forward, you surrendered to His timing. And God saw it all. He saw every privateer, every whispered prayer, every moment you could have retaliated but chose peace instead. He saw your quiet loyalty in the midst of deep cost. You never fought for the spotlight, you stayed in the shadows. Knowing what they didn't, that divine timing can't be manipulated. That when God appoints you, no human rejection can reverse it. That being overlooked by man means nothing when you've been trusted by heaven. And now, your moment has arrived. Heaven has issued the command, the unveiling has begun. But this isn't a stage set for performance. It's a sacred moment of revealing. And those who once dismissed you as insignificant will now witness the weight of your spiritual relevance. They'll see God's favor pour over your life in ways they never anticipated, not as a form of retaliation, but as a revelation of who He truly operates through. This isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about making His presence undeniable. This isn't about recognition, it's about divine insight. It's not even a comeback because you were never truly absent. You were hidden, tucked away, until the glory within you reached its full maturity. Now, you're being brought forward as a sign, a vessel, a living testimony that the overlooked become the elevated, that the humble inherit beyond expectation, and that the pure-hearted not only behold God, they are seen by Him. So let them speculate, let them wonder how you got here. Let them question your rise, because the truth is, you weren't climbing, you were being carried. You didn't market yourself, you walked in obedience. You didn't plot your way forward, you surrendered at every turn. And for that, God has entrusted you with something far greater than attention. He's given you spiritual weight. You're now stepping into spaces others tried to force open, doors you didn't pry at, but prayed through. Not because you were flawless, but because you remained faithful. You are living proof that the ones dismissed by people are often the very ones depended on by God. When the world sees limitation, heaven sees availability. When the world skips over your name, heaven inscribes it in eternal places. You are the unexpected prophecy. You are the anointing they tried to overlook. And now, you stand as evidence that God does not choose based on status, He chooses based on surrender. The lowly are rising, and you, chosen one, are leading that wave. Chapter 4. The light won't break you. It will reveal you. You weren't hidden because you were fragile. You were hidden because God was building strength in secret. He didn't preserve you all this time to leave you behind. He kept you under wraps because what He was forming in you couldn't be rushed, couldn't be exposed too early, and couldn't be shaped by applause. You never chased attention, and that's exactly why the spotlight is chasing you now. This next season isn't about platforming yourself. It's about showcasing what heaven has carefully cultivated in you. The light won't create you, it will expose what's already been refined in the hidden place. You are forged in fire, matured through solitude, strengthened in the silence. You didn't just endure storms, you worshiped through them. You didn't just discover a talent, you developed tenacity. When no one was cheering, you were still praying. When no one saw your process, heaven recorded every moment. And now, what was formed in private will speak loudly in public, not for your glory, but for His. When no one was paying attention, you kept speaking life anyway. When doors closed in your face, you didn't force them open, you got on your knees until heaven made a way. And now, because you refused to manipulate outcomes, God is releasing the manifestation. Because you held your integrity and didn't cut corners, God is swinging open wide gates. Because you didn't chase recognition, God is establishing you with spiritual authority. As the light begins to shine on your life, you won't fold under the pressure. You won't shrink or stumble, because pressure has become the very place where you found peace. You trained in obscurity. You healed without applause. You put down roots so deep that no spotlight can shake your sense of identity. Your value doesn't come from being noticed. It comes from being marked by God. Your worth isn't tied to platform. It's found in the oil that flows from your surrendered life. You're not stepping into visibility to prove your significance. You're stepping forward to reflect God's presence. That's why the spotlight won't seduce you. You've already known what it's like to live without it. You understand that exposure without purity is just empty performance, and fame without foundation is a silent fall waiting to happen. But you've been built on something deeper. You've chosen obedience over popularity. There's an altar behind your assignment, and because of that, God can trust you with influence. He can place you in environments where others lose themselves, and you'll remain grounded. He can hand you a microphone, and you'll still proclaim His name, not your own. He can surround you with praise, and you'll still redirect all the glory to the one who carried you through every hidden season. This isn't about platform, it's about purpose. It's not about recognition, it's about responsibility. That's why you won't be deceived by the illusion of success. You were never made to soak in the spotlight, you were designed to reflect it. You don't carry ego, you carry insight. You shine not with pride, but with holy purpose. This visibility won't inflate you. It will simply confirm what God already crowned in secret. And when others look at you, they won't just see talent, they'll see a testimony. They won't just hear words, they'll feel the weight of your worship. So don't fear what's ahead. The attention won't distract you. It will validate what you've already known in your spirit, that you were chosen long before anyone noticed, that you were set apart long before you were celebrated, that your preparation in private is what empowers you to stand firm in public. Chapter 5. God's display of your life isn't about perfection, it's about purpose. Chosen one. Stop disqualifying yourself from the very space God has designed for you to occupy. He didn't select you because you were flawless, He chose you because you were in position. You're not being elevated because you got everything right, but because you stayed aligned even when everything felt wrong. Asterisk, asterisk, God is bringing you into the light not because you had it all together, but because you kept coming back to Him. He's not searching for the polished or the flawless. He's looking for those who remain moldable in His hands. It's not spotless records, He seeks its surrendered hearts. While you may see yourself through the lens of your failures, God sees you through your consistent faith. You remember where you fell short, but He remembers how you stood back up when no one saw the battle you were fighting. You showed up while silently breaking. You kept praying through the doubt. You followed His lead even when you felt unworthy. That's why He's elevating you, not to parade your perfection, but to magnify His power. It's not your performance that's being honored, it's your perseverance. God is looking for vessels who are more interested in impact than impression. He's not calling the carefully curated, He's calling the spread, the raw, the real, the ones who've been bruised and still chose to pour out. You're not the result of a perfect life. You're the image of grace in motion. You're a living testimony still being penned by the author of all things. A walking declaration that says, yes, I've been through the fire, and I'm still standing. You are proof that God restores what's broken, reclaims what's lost, and reshapes what seemed unusable. Every scar you bear now carries a message. Every tear you shed holds a testimony. What once felt like disqualification is now the very evidence of your transformation. The things you tried to hide, heaven's about to highlight them. Your story won't be used to showcase your strength. It will be used to point to God's. You are not a monument to your own success. You're a mirror reflecting His mercy. This world doesn't need more perfection, it needs truth. It needs to witness real deliverance. It needs to see people who've walked through pain, found healing, and kept walking. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies those who surrender. When you stand before others, you won't need a script. Your scars will speak, not as someone who played it safe, but as someone who dared to trust God when it hurt the most. And that honesty, that deep vulnerability, that's what will bring freedom to others. This isn't about having it all figured out. It's about living with purpose, using your path to lead others out of shame and into grace. So when God lifts you up, don't disqualify yourself because of where you've been. Don't question the doors He's opening. You're not an divinely appointed. You're not standing there to impress, you're there to impart something eternal, something that carries the breadth of heaven. Chosen one, your resume doesn't need to be flawless. It just needs to say, "Here, I am wounded, willing, and available." And that's exactly why God is lifting you now, because He knows you'll give Him the glory every time. You will always give Him the glory. Chapter 6. The enemy tried to conceal you, but God is about to reveal you. Chosen one, every hidden season wasn't a sign of lack, it was a mark of your worth. You weren't out of sight because you were insignificant. You were kept covered because you were too valuable to be exposed prematurely. The enemy wasn't simply trying to delay your journey, he was trying to derail it. He saw the weight you carried, the calling you hadn't even fully discovered yet. So he launched attacks on your mind, distorted your self-perception, and wrapped your anointing in warfare to make you question what God already confirmed. But he miscalculated. He assumed the silence would suffocate you, unaware it was making you stronger. He believed isolation would crush you, not realizing it was consecrating you. What he tried to dim, God is about to set ablaze. What he attempted to bury, God is now ready to broadcast. Every part of your process was never punishment. It was God preparing you for public purpose. You didn't survive all of that to remain in the background. You were hidden so healing could happen. You were silenced so you could recognize the sound of God's whisper. People may have passed over you, but it was so the Spirit could overshadow you. Now, the time of hiding is coming to a close, not because you chased recognition, but because heaven has announced your release. This isn't about stepping into the spotlight for validation, it's about stepping into victory. God is about to present you not to elevate your name, but to confirm His own. Your life is living proof, a walking miracle with a memory of everything you've overcome. Every tactic that tried to paralyze your growth will now stand as proof of God's power. You're not just stepping out, you're being vindicated. The accusations can't survive next to the truth. The lies won't hold ground next to the fruit. The pain won't overshadow the purpose. God is unveiling what He carefully formed in the unseen. And when people see you, they'll witness what perseverance and partnership with God looks like. You are the restoration story. Hell prayed would never unfold, but heaven has been scripting every word with precision, strength, and promise. This is not just a return to the stage, it's a rise to the assignment. This isn't mere divine validation. You're not being showcased for show, you're being fulfilled for purpose. And the same voices that questioned your process will now witness your elevation. So let them watch, let them see the unveiling. Because what God is about to do in your life will speak louder than any explanation ever could. Let them watch as God steps in and does what only He cannot, to get even, but to execute divine strategy. Not for applause, but to align your life with heaven's blueprint. This isn't just a comeback, it's a catalyst. A prophetic wave that declares, what God has blessed cannot be buried. What He has spoken cannot be silenced. What He has crowned cannot be canceled. Chosen one, the enemy tried to wipe your name off the story, but God is about to write it into legacy. And this time, you won't need to chase recognition. You'll simply move in the oil, and the light will naturally follow you. Because when God chooses to showcase you, He doesn't just reveal you're redeemed in the very places that once tried to ruin you. Chapter 7. This is your appointed moment. Walk boldly. Chosen one. Nothing about this is coincidence. It's not random, it's not luck, it's not chance. This is your appointed time, a moment that was marked in heaven long before the world ever knew your name. You've walked through fire. You've been crushed, pressed, and silenced. And now, you're stepping into the very season everything in your past was building toward. This isn't happening because you manipulated your way in. You didn't hustle or fight for it. It's happening because God chose you in the secret place, and now He's scheduled your public release. He didn't pursue the spotlight, but now, the spotlight is being redirected, assigned to you. Not to elevate your name, but to show the power of what God can do with a surrendered vessel. You didn't make it this far by accident. You weren't growing in the dark for nothing. Every tear was training. Every delay was development. Every quiet battle was part of the refining. You've been processed, you've been purified, you've been strategically positioned, and now, God is ready to present you. So walk boldly, not in arrogance but in anointing, not with insecurity but with unwavering faith, not timidly but with the boldness that comes from divine confirmation. I was born for this. Don't shrink, don't minimize the magnitude of the moment. Don't silence your voice now that heaven is amplifying it. You've spent enough time in the shadows. Now it's time to stand in purpose, on purpose, with power. Now, your boldness is an offering, a visible sign that you trust the one who called you. Your confidence isn't arrogance, it's evidence of faith. This is your moment, and you won't need to force a single thing. God is directing the platform, aligning divine connections, amplifying your gift, and drawing attention to what others once dismissed. You're not walking by might, you're moving in supernatural momentum. You weren't sent to impress the crowd, you were sent to transform it. You weren't born to blend in, you were chosen to stand apart. You are heaven's living message, a walking revelation of God's faithfulness and intentional timing. You're not just being positioned, you're becoming the proof that His schedule never fails. You are the vessel He shaped in fire, the voice He sharpened in silence, the light He's ready to lift up. So stop shrinking, stop doubting. What has been confirmed in the Spirit is now being revealed in reality. The door is open, walk through it with holy boldness and unwavering peace. The atmosphere is prepared, and heaven is backing your every step. This isn't just your moment, it's your testimony unfolding in front of the world. God is proud not because you had all the answers, but because you never walked away, because you stayed pure, because you endured the stretch, because you've trusted Him even through the ache. And now He declares, "This one is mine, watch what I do with them." The world is about to see what God has been perfecting behind the scenes. You are the unveiling, you are the signpost, you are the reminder that obedience always leads to overflow. You didn't strive for this, it was assigned to you. You didn't chase it too, were matured for it. And now that the moment has arrived, don't let fear talk you out of it. Step forward in fullness.